characters and images that burst boldly upon the mind of the listener. When you consider that they were told around campfires in the darkness of night, if you could put yourself in that place, what a richly atmospheric sense you would get as you were smelling the cedar and the pines and hearing the night sounds of the forest, and you're hearing this elder, very aged, telling the stories that preserve their legends, stories that preserve the tales of their great battles or tales of their great heroes. In this video, I am going to share with you a kind of cute, in a way, tale of how the chipmunk got its stripes. I hope you'll enjoy this. I certainly enjoyed it as I was preparing it. So let's take a look at how the chipmunk got its stripes. We're back in another time now, listening to the old storyteller around the campfire in the pristine woodland forest. All eyes are on him as those gathered wait for him to begin. Not a sound did the audience make as the old man filled his pipe, and only the snapping of the fire broke the stillness of the dark, wooded night. And at last he spoke, and he said, "Napa, the old man, is very old indeed. He made the world and all that is on it, and he came out of the south and traveled towards the north, making the birds and the animals as he passed on by. He made the perfumes of the wind to carry about, and he even made the war paint for the people to use. He was a busy worker, but he was a great liar and thief also, as I shall show you after I have told you more about him. It was the old man who taught the beaver all of his cunning. It was the old man who told the beaver to sleep when the snow grows deep in the winter, and it was the old man who made the curlew's bill so long and curved when originally it was straight. Old man used to live on this world with the animals and birds, and there was no other man or woman at that time. And he was chief over all the animal people and all the bird people, and he could speak their language of the robin, and he knew the words of the bear and understood the sign and to talk to the beavers. He lived with the wolves, for they are great hunters, and old man made a great many mistakes in making things, yet he worked until he had everything good. But he often made a great mischief and taught many wicked things. Now this happened long ago when the world was still young. It was a fine summer day, and old man was traveling through the forest. He was going north, straight as an arrow, looking at nothing, hearing nothing, and to this day no one knows what old man was after. The birds in the forest people spoke politely to him as he passed, but he answered none of them. And the pine squirrel, who is always trying to find out other people's business, asked him where he was going, but old man wouldn't tell them. The woodpecker hammered on the dead tree to make him look that way, but old man wouldn't turn and look. The elk people and the deer people saw him pass, and all said he must be up to some mischief, or he would stop and talk for a while. And the pine trees murmured, and the bushes whispered their greeting, but he kept his eyes straight ahead and went on traveling. The sun was low when old man heard a groan, and turning about he saw a warrior lying bruised and bleeding near a spring of cold water. Old man knelt beside the man and asked him, "Is there war in this country?" "Yes," answered the man. "This whole day long we have fought to kill a person. But we have all been killed, I'm afraid." "Now this is strange," said old man. "How can one person kill so many men?" "Who is that person? Tell me his name." But the man didn't answer. He was dead. When old man saw that the life had left the wounded man, he drank from the spring, and he went on towards the north. But before long he heard a noise as of men fighting, and he stopped to look and listen, and finally he saw the bushes bend and sway near a creek that flowed through the forest. He crawled towards the spot, and peering through the bushes, saw a great person near a pile of dead men, with his back against a pine tree. The person was full of arrows and he was pulling them from his ugly body. Calmly, the person broke the shafts of the arrows, tossed them aside, and stopped as the blood flowed with a brush of his hairy hand. His head was large and fierce looking, and his eyes were small and wicked. His great body was larger than that of a buffalo bull and covered with scars. Old Man went to the creek, and with his buffalo horn cup brought some water to the person, and asking as he neared him, "Who are you, person? Tell me so that I can make you a fine present. You are great in war." "I am blood sickness, or bad sickness," he said. "Tribes I have met remember me, and always will, for the bravest warrior. The bravest warriors are afraid when I make war upon them. I come in the night, or I visit their camps in the daylight. It is always the same. They are frightened, and I will kill them easily." "Oh," said Old Man, "tell me how to make bad sickness, for I often go to war myself." Old Man lied, for he had never been into battle in his entire life, and the person shook his ugly head, and then Old Man said, "If you will tell me how to make bad sickness, I will make you small and handsome. When you are big as you are now, it's very hard to make a living. But when you are small, little food will make you fat. Your living will be easy because I will make your food grow everywhere." "Good," said the person, "I will do it. You must kill the fawn of the deer and the calves of the elk when they first begin to live. When you have killed enough of them, you must make a robe of their skins. Wherever you go, wear that robe and sing. Now you sicken, now you will sicken, and the sickness will come. And that's all there is to it," the person said. "Good," said Old Man. "Now lie down and I will do as I promised." So the person went to sleep, and Old Man breathed upon him until he grew so tiny that he laughed to see how small he had made him. And then he took out his paint sack and striped the person's back with black and yellow. And it looked bright and handsome, and he waked the person, who was now a tiny little animal with a bushy tail, to make him pretty. And the Old Man said, "You are a chipmunk and must always wear these striped clothes. All of your children and their children must wear them too." Well, after the chipmunk had looked at himself and thanked Old Man for the new clothes, he wanted to know how he could make his living. And Old Man told him what to eat and said that he must stow away the pine nuts when the leaves turned yellow, so he would not have to work in the wintertime. "You are a cousin of the pine squirrel," the Old Man said, "and you will hunt and hide as he does. You will be spry, and your living will be easy to make if you do as I have told you." And Old Man taught the chipmunk his language and his signs, showed him where to live, and then left him, going on toward the north again. He kept looking for the cow elk and the doe deer, and it was not long before he had killed enough of the young to make the robe as the person told him. For they were plentiful before the white man came to live in the world. And he found a shady place near the creek, and there made the robe that would make bad sickness wherever he sang the unusual song. But the robe was plain and brown in color. He didn't like the looks of it, so suddenly he thought how nice the back of the chipmunk looked, and after he had striped it with his paints. So he got out his old paint sack once again, and with the same colors made a robe that looked very much like the clothes of the chipmunk. He was proud of the work and liked the new coat much, much better. And being lazy himself, he wanted to save himself work. So he sent to the south wind to tell all the doe deer and all the cow elk to come to him. And they came as soon as they got the message, as they feared Old Man and tried always to please him. And when they had all reached Old Man, he said to them, "Do you see this robe?" "Yes, we see it," they replied. "I have made it from the skins of your children, and then painted it to look like the chipmunk's back. For I like the looks of that person's clothes. I shall need many more of these robes during my life, and every time I make one, I don't want to have to spend my time painting it. So, from now on and forever, your children shall be born in spotted clothes. I want it that way to save me work. And all the fawns, there must be spots of white like this," and he pointed to the spots on bad sickness's robe, and on all of the elk calves the spots shall not be so white, and shall be in rows, and look rather yellow. Again he showed them his robe, that they might see just exactly what he wanted. Now remember, he said, after this I don't want to see any of your children running about wearing plain clothing, because that would mean more painting for me to do. Now go away and remember what I have said, lest I make you sick. So the cow elk and the doe deer were glad to know that their children's clothes would be beautiful, and they went away to their little ones who were hidden in the tall grass, where the wolves and mountain lions would have a hard time finding them. For you know that in the tracks of the fawn there is no scent, and the wolf cannot trail him when he is alone. That is the way Manitou takes care of the weak, and all of the forest people know about it too. So now you know why the chipmunk's back is striped, and why the fawn and elk calves wear pretty clothes. I hear the owls, he said the storyteller, and it is time for all young men to go. And they dispersed. So now you know how the chipmunk got the stripes on his back, and why the does or the fawns have their little white dots and stripes on their back. Hope you enjoyed the story. I thought it was kind of cool, and a little bit cruel in some ways, but kind of cool. So thank you for stopping by, and I will see you again real soon, God willing. God bless each and every one of you on the other side of that monitor. I love you all very much. See you again real soon.